Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we are on I the Jerk. Am I the jerk for saying I have 2 kids? I've been with my fiancée for 6 years, and she came into the relationship with 3 kids, whom I adore. Their dad isn't in the picture very often, once every 6-8 months. They don't call me dad or anything, but they treat me like a father figure. They gifted me a dog 2 years ago for Father's Day. The fiancée was a bit upset about that one, whoops. Well, now my fiancée is pregnant, 6 months, and we were out on the boat the other day with my buddy and my buddy's wife. They were asking if I was excited about the pregnancy and having a biological kid, and I said, well, I have 2 kids now, referring to my dog. My fiancée just got extremely quiet and didn't say anything, but my buddy's wife piped up with, wow, you just made yourself sound like a prick. I ask why, and she goes, you have 3 kids at home that you've taken care of for 6 years, but sure, only include the flea bag your fiancé never wanted, an unborn child into the number of children you have. I tried defending myself, but ultimately the damage was done. Now I spoke to my fiancé about it later, because she didn't defend me on the boat, but she didn't agree with my buddy's wife either, and she goes, that did bother me, and no, I don't want to talk about it. I have a lot to process right now. I tried again defending myself, and that's when she kind of snapped at me and said that I not only made a fool of myself, but also made her and her kids look bad in the process because I claimed my dog as my child, but not the actual human kids I've helped raise. She currently isn't speaking to me, and I've definitely heard her crying. Am I really wrong, or is this weird women hormones? Our next post is by Numerous Stock. Would I be the jerk for canceling my daughter's 16th birthday party after warning her about it a year ago? For my daughter's 15th birthday, my spouse and I paid for her to take some of her friends out to a restaurant for dinner. During this dinner party, my daughter got into an argument with one of her friends, 15F. Apparently my daughter was upset that this friend gave her a cheap gift bought from a thrift store. According to her best friend, 15F, who told us what happened, my daughter seemed to like the gift at first and asked her friend where she bought it from. When the girl admitted it was from a thrift store, that is when my daughter lost it and called her names like cheap, gold digger, beggar. Translated from my language, it roughly means cheap, and other classist insults. Now it is well known that this friend's family is not well off, but I know that she is a sweet girl who did her best to get my daughter a gift with her meager allowance. My spouse and I confronted our daughter about it, and she admitted she insulted her friend. She went on to insult her further by saying things like this is probably the only way she gets to eat at a restaurant, so she should be grateful and give a decent gift. I don't know where my daughter learned such entitlement, but she did not learn it at home. Even her best friend was uncomfortable by her behavior. We immediately took away all her gifts and donated them. We also told her that unless she apologizes to this girl in front of everyone who was present at the party, we will not be sponsoring any more of her birthdays. My daughter never apologized, and over time, the girl drifted apart from the friend group. My daughter's 16th birthday is coming up next month, and she has started talking about what kind of party she wants. I reminded her of our promise that we would not fund any more birthday parties until she has apologized for her behavior at her previous party. Daughter is saying it's been a year and the girl is no longer her friend anyway. She said her best friend is getting a sweet 16 party, not a thing in my culture, and how will it look if she doesn't get one? We told her she still has a month to apologize, but she is not planning to do it because she thinks we'll cave. My in-laws are offering to pay for her party, but we have forbidden them from doing that. Daughter and both sets of grandparents are telling us that we are being too harsh and ruining her social life. Will I be the jerk if we don't give her a birthday party this year? Our next post is by Flat History. Am I the jerk for building my teenage sons a bedroom in the backyard? My wife and I have 5 children together, 9M, 8M, 7M, 4M, 2M. And I have 3 children with my ex-wife, 17M, 15M, 13F. When I bought our current house, it had 4 bedrooms. I later renovated the basement to add another 2 bedrooms. My wife and I have 1 room. The 3 teenagers had a room each, and the younger boys share the other 2 rooms with various configurations over the years. As the younger boys get older, things are going to get more cramped for them, and we haven't ruled out having more kids. I also don't want to immediately take my older kids' rooms away the second they go to college, and maybe they'll stay local or not go at all. Because of this, I started looking at how I would add more bedrooms. The property our house is on is a little under 1 acre. Last year, I decided I would build a den in the backyard that could become the older boys' bedrooms. The build was finished a few weeks ago, and the boys have moved in. They have a small shared living space that includes a kitchenette, a shared bathroom, and they each have their own rooms. It's essentially a tiny house in our yard. The boys love it, and we had a lot of fun working on the build together. My ex-wife, however, is less than pleased with the boys' new living arrangements. She has multiple safety concerns, as she thinks they are too far away if something happens, and that they will feel like they could get away with whatever, as I can't monitor them well. She also thinks it's unfair they will have to walk through a yard to get to and from their bedrooms to the house, even in adverse weather conditions. She feels as though I'm pushing the boys away by housing them in the backyard, and that it suggests I'm prioritizing my new family, while at the same time thinking giving them a cool den in the backyard is favoring them over their sister. I think her biggest issue is the one she didn't mention, which is worrying the boys will want to spend even more time at my house if they have more privacy and great place to hang with their friends. We no longer split custody based on our custody agreement, and for the last few years the boys have lived the majority of the time with me, whereas our daughter alternates between our houses every 2 weeks. My ex is trying to make it out like I'm a massive jerk in this situation, but I really don't feel like I am. However, in the past I haven't always known when I have been a jerk, so maybe I'm missing something. Am I the jerk? Our next post is by Money Pop. Am I the jerk for not wanting to talk to my mother after telling me I will not be getting a family heirloom for my wedding? My mother and father had a very toxic marriage and finally divorced 2 years ago. My father came from an ancestral wealthy family and my mother did not. My father's mother gave my mother pieces from the family jewelry collection throughout the years. It was always my mom's intention to hand down these pieces for special occasions to myself and my sister. After my parents divorced, my mom absolutely hates my dad. She remarried within a year to a man of very humble means. She also moved on from my sister and I, truly focusing on building connections with her new stepchildren and doting on her new husband. I had a baby 5 months ago, and she has only visited twice. They live life very simple and small, that is their choice. My mom will never receive something extravagant again. I, 35F, am getting married this fall. My sister, 33F, was married last year, and after much pressure put on my mom, received a coveted platinum, gold, diamond and sapphire bracelet from my great-grandmother's collection from the early 1900s. I asked my mom for a ring from my father's side, that is a chiseled family crest of a rare stone set in a gold. She always hated this ring, said it was ugly and chipped. It dates back to the 1600s. I thought she would have no care for it since she hates my dad and it is my family. She said no, I will not receive anything, with no explanation. My sister and I figure that it's because our mom doesn't want to part with any of the collection because she loves fine jewelry. Mind you, my grandmother did give it to my mother, but she wants nothing to with that family. Lives in an unlocked small house in the middle of nowhere with a known history of break-ins, and kept everything from my father's side during the divorce. I am scared that someone will steal these pieces that have been in my family for hundreds of years. I also don't trust her new husband's family. I'm disgusted with her behavior and disregard. I find her selfish. I am scared that someone will steal these pieces that have been in my family for hundreds of years. I also don't trust her new husband's family. I'm disgusted with her behavior and disregard. I find her selfish. I also should note that my mom told us from a very early age when we would be getting pieces, and our marriages were one of the events. I also have never met his family, but know there is a history of arrests for stealing valuables. Am I the jerk for wanting to cut her out because I find her to be immature, or am I the one who is immature? Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.